So, boys and girls, over the last few weeks, we've been having fun looking at ancient art. We looked at the cave paintings, and lately we've been looking at art from 6,000 years ago from ancient Egypt. We learned about their hieroglyphics and that they would carve these words into stone. And if they put the hieroglyphics in the shape of a cartouche, it meant that it was a pharaoh's name inside there. They would take papyrus, which was a plant that grew along the Nile River, and they would make it into paper called papyrus. We've seen the ujat, which was the eye of Horus, which to them meant healing, the crook and the flail, which was a symbol of power for the king, the Ankh, which was a symbol of eternal life. And we found out last week that the pharaohs loved to wear interesting crowns. Now, one thing that we've seen over and over is this scarab beetle. And some kids have been saying, why did they love that beetle so much? Well, it's not so much that they loved the beetle so much. It was that they were always trying to figure out what was God. And when they looked up in the sky and saw the sun, they thought, you know what? I think that is a God. And so they called the sun Ra. And when they would see Ra go through the sky, they imagined him almost like in a boat, that Ra was sailing across the sky every day, and they would worship the sun. Now, herein again is a picture of how they pictured Ra, the sun god, going through the sky and then coming back the next day. Now, interestingly enough, in ancient Egypt, there was a type of beetle that would roll around a ball, and I'll be telling you more about that in a minute. But when they looked at that scarab beetle, they sometimes said, wow, that's just kind of like Ra, who has a ball that he takes through the sky. This little beetle doesn't take it through the sky, but he rolls it all over ancient Egypt. That's kind of like Ra. And so in just a moment, you're going to see why that beetle did that. But that's why when we see the scarab beetle and with the circle, the sun there, it's because it reminds them of the sun god Ra, and it reminds them of that sun that rolls through the sky.